Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. So this week, we're looking at the basic requirements in writing, the big three. This week specifically, we're focusing on complete sentences. In future weeks, we can work on other things. We have already looked at um, the elements of a sentence. We've already looked at fragments, and now we're going to look at run-ons. So, right, this was our week's um, our plan for the week. Tomorrow is the quiz covering all of this. All right, so complete sentences, right? This looks familiar. Fragments, this should look familiar. And then here we go with run-ons. So, all right, run-ons there's kind of a lot, just because there's a lot of ways to fix them. So let's get into it straight away so that this video doesn't go too long. All right, what a run-on is two or more sentences that are just sort of crammed together incorrectly and made to look like a single sentence. All right, there is something called a compound sentence where it's two sentences and they're put together correctly to create a single sentence. And that's I guess the difference between a run-on and a compound sentence and what we're going to look at today. All right, let's just look at these examples. So first I have the puppy played all morning, it slept all afternoon. So let me first point out this. See this blue squiggly line here? That is grammar check. When you see that in your writing, don't ignore it, right? You can click on it and it will give you something to consider to change it to. The computer's picking up a grammatical error. There's something wrong with this. It wants to say and slept. So the puppy played all morning and slept all afternoon. That would be fine. It's incorrect this way. So never, never, never turn in your schoolwork with any of these blue lines like this, these squiggly lines. If they're red squiggly lines, that's spell check. Make sure you do the same thing. Click on it. The computer's trying to help you get these things correct. So accept that help from the computer. All right. There are a few ways to fix this problem. So the puppy played all morning, it slept all afternoon. This is two sentences, right? The puppy played all morning is a sentence. It slept all afternoon is a sentence. You can't just cram them together like this and call it a sentence. We could fix it several different ways. So we could write it as two sentences. So we could put a period, the puppy played all morning, period. Start a new sentence with a capital letter, the puppy slept all afternoon. Just break it up into two sentences. Perfectly fine. Another way we can fix this run-on is if the two sentences are closely related in topic, so they're about the same thing, right? You can join them with a semicolon. So the semicolon is this little guy right here, that thing that looks like a period at the top and a comma at the bottom. If the sentences are about the same thing and really closely related, then you can do this. So the puppy played all morning, it slept all afternoon. The only difference between this run-on sentence here and this perfectly acceptable compound sentence here is that this one has a semicolon in it between the two sentences. Now, this does not work if the two sentences aren't closely related enough. So if they're totally different, like, I like chocolate ice cream, there's a full moon tonight. Those sentences aren't related. You cannot join them with a semicolon. Even if they're slightly related, but not super related, you wouldn't want to use a semicolon. So like, I like chocolate ice cream, I like green beans. They're both about food you like, but they're not really related enough. Something like, I like chocolate ice cream, I eat it once a week. Now those two sentences go together, right? Those can be connected. If you're not sure, then maybe this isn't the way to use it. But as long as both sentences are closely related, you can join them with a semicolon. Just remember they have to be closely related in topic. You can fix this run-on sentence by using a comma and a coordinating conjunction to join the sentences. So we've talked about this before too. Fanboys, you've been hearing about fanboys since grade school probably. These are the coordinating conjunctions, are technically what they're called. We call them fanboys because if you look at the bolded letter, the first letter of each one, it spells fanboys, for and nor, but or yet so. They can join two sentences as long as you also use a comma. So the puppy played all morning, comma, and it slept all afternoon. Comma, and. And is our coordinating conjunction, and it needs a comma before it. Comma, and. Do not make, there's a couple mistakes I see with this. One, I see some people put the comma after the conjunction, and comma. That is incorrect. The other mistake I see is people attach the comma to the and, so it would be like morning, space, comma, and. That's incorrect. Comma is always attached to the word on the left. All right, so the puppy played all morning, comma, and it slept all afternoon. That comma conjunction to join the two sentences. If you want to get really sophisticated, you can use a subordinating conjunction at the beginning of the sentence. You're going to need a comma, not after the conjunction, but after that, what we call dependent clause. So this is getting kind of fancy, but it's certainly not more than you can handle. So here we have the puppy played all morning, it slept all afternoon. Remember, this should look familiar. This is our run-on that we're working with. There's a comma in here because of this subordinating conjunction because. If I put here, now I have because the puppy played all morning, comma, it slept all afternoon. Now here's a very short list over here of some subordinating conjunctions. There are a lot more than this, but these are some of the most common ones. So I put them on here just for easy reference for you. So you can see like after the puppy played all morning, comma, it slept all afternoon. Because we talked about, so, all right, those maybe are the only ones that make sense with this sentence, but you can imagine other sentences. If you play all afternoon, comma, you may want to sleep that night. I don't know, something like that. So you can use all of these. All right, I don't want to get too bogged down in that, but if you use the subordinating conjunction at the beginning, you're going to have to find the end of that first clause, which might look like the end of the sentence, right? And then put a comma. We know that this, because the puppy played all morning, is not a sentence. We talked about that with fragments. Put a comma there, and then you have your other half of your run-on. All right, if the subjects are the same, so if you had the same subject in both of your sentences in your run-on, like we do, the puppy played all morning, it, which is the puppy, right, slept all afternoon. So we're talking in both sentences about the same subject. So we could just use a compound predicate. Remember, the predicate is what the subject is or does. So here we have the subject, the puppy, and then we can just use two predicates. Played all morning, slept all afternoon. We don't need any extra punctuation in this situation. It's just the puppy and what the puppy did. The puppy played and slept. Now here I had to write a slightly different, for it to work, a slightly different run-on sentence. So our new run-on sentence here is the puppy played, the kitten played. So here you might not have two subjects that are the same like we had up here. You might have two predicates that are the same, played and played. So you could say the puppy and kitten played. We have a compound subject now. Subject of this sentence is puppy and kitten, and the predicate is played. Again, don't ignore these blue lines. I got distracted a little bit when I clicked on them when I was reading it. So sometimes they're going to give you a little something that makes the whole sentence different. If we said okay to these, we would end up with the puppy played with the kitten. That's fine. I mean, it's not exactly what we're saying here. They might not have played together in the situation we have. And the way they're changing it, it says we did, but at least you'd have a grammatically correct sentence. So don't just ignore these blue lines. Never turn anything in with the blue or red lines. You want to fix those. All right, let's look at these. We're going to go through them quickly. I have pets. I take good care of them. So I have pets is one sentence. I take good care of them is the other. We can join them with a semicolon. We can join them by making two sentences. I have pets, period. I take good care of them, period. We could do coordinating conjunction and a comma. So I have pets, comma, and I take good care of them, right? So we have lots of options. My dog loves to eat. We feed him a lot. So we could put a semicolon between these two. We could do a comma and a conjunction, comma, so, right? My dog loves to eat, so we feed him a lot. What were some of our other options? The subjects are the same if they're closely related in topic. Oh, we could put a subordinating conjunction in front. Because my dog loves to eat, comma, we feed him a lot. We'd fix the capitalization, right? Because would be capitalized, my would be lowercase. So it's always important to get that capitalization correct. The girls play football, the boys play soccer. So here we could use, I think I would use a comma and a coordinating conjunction. We could use and or but. The girls play football, comma, and the boys play soccer. Or the girls play football, comma, but the boys play soccer. We could put a subordinating conjunction in the front. Although the girls play football, comma, the boys play soccer. It's a little weird, but it would work. Number 4, a dog ran into the street. I hit my brakes. Again, any of those situations we could do. So a dog ran into the street, semicolon, I hit my brakes, comma, so I hit my brakes, etc. My kitten sleeps, my kitten purrs softly. So here I have the same subject twice, kitten, so I could just use compound predicate. My kitten sleeps and purrs softly. Joseph likes playing soccer. Jordan likes playing soccer. So here I have the same predicate. How about predicate? But I have Joseph and Jordan, so I'd have a compound subject. Joseph and Jordan like playing soccer. Now, I read. This is a really short sentence. I just want to point out this is a complete sentence. Don't think that a super short sentence is not a complete sentence. This isn't a run-on by any means. It's just a regular old sentence I want to throw in there to remind you guys, long or short doesn't matter. I read. I is the subject, read is the predicate, complete idea. And then here is this long sentence. The many dogs and cats who have lived a very long time at the Humane Society in Janesville are hoping with all their hearts that some nice people come in and adopt them. This is not a run-on. It is a very long sentence, but it's not a run-on. We have the subject, dogs and cats, and we have a predicate, are hoping. All the other stuff is just extra detail. The dogs and cats are hoping. All right, so that is run-ons in a nutshell. So if you have questions, concerns, please Google Meet with me. It doesn't have to be about run-ons. It could be fragments. It could be about the elements of a complete sentence. Tomorrow is the quiz. It will cover all of the stuff that we've covered these last 3 days. So let me know if you have questions or concerns. I'm more than happy to help you out, and have a great day.